it. It's a pound for pound beatdown for Boots Ennis.
Declaring your winner by TKO, he's still undefeated, and the new unified WBA and WBO super welterweight champion of the world, Jaron Boots Ennis.
Everybody involved with the making of this fight said this fight does not happen unless you are the one that's pushing for it. Instead, you're jumping right in with the man that people believe is one of the top fighters in any weight class and all the boxes. The question I have is why? Why were you so insistent on making this fight happen?
So it's a unification fight. That was a legacy fight. I had to say yes. If I was gonna say yes, I would have hung up the gloves. You know, that was only two options: either hang up the gloves or take that fight.
What do you think you do better than him?
I think like I said before, I think he's a solid fighter. You know, a good fighter. Yeah, he's champion for a reason. You know, but I think I do everything better. You know, all around the board, I do everything. I can box, I can bang.
Yeah, I do worry about it, but it's not even worth worrying about it because if it happens, it happens. You gotta stick on it and continue to work hard and continue to do this or that, and everything will work out.
Right. And like I said before, I would have fought them same two guys he just fought. The whole world would be bashing me. Yeah. For sure. That's how you know I'm at a different level. And I'm gonna show him there's really levels to this boxing game. Like I said, yeah, a solid fighter for sure. Getting better, but I'm just...
154-pound division is heating up, with growing discussion around a possible showdown between Jaron, Boots Ennis and unified champion Sebastian Fundora. Boxing coach and analyst Greg Hackett weighed in on the matchup, suggesting that Fundora would need to be mentally prepared for the challenge Ennis presents. Hackett believes facing a fighter with Boots' skill level would be a serious test, meaning Fundora must be fully ready before stepping into the ring.
I think it's going to happen at 60. Why? I don't think Fundora wants that trouble at 54. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's so sure of himself. I think it's going to take him a couple years mentally to be really sure of himself. He talk a good game. He do. When he do his interviews, he talk a hell of a game. 30 seconds. He talk a hell of a game, but I don't think this is just me off of my observation. I don't think he's pleased with himself just yet to say he's going to fight Boots after he...
Chris Algieri considers Fundora one of the most difficult fighters in the division to solve right now. He highlighted Fundora's unusual size while praising the progress the champion has made since facing Brian Mendoza. Algieri noted that Fundora is now more disciplined, relies on his jab effectively, and avoids getting dragged into unnecessary exchanges. Those improvements have made Fundora a more complete fighter and potentially one of the toughest opponents at 154 pounds.
He's so long and he's getting better. He's improving. He's learning how to use his size. He's using his jab. He's being more disciplined. He's not taking risks like he used to. Talk about a guy who used to allow people to hit him and then has figured out that you shouldn't do that at the highest level in that Brian Mendoza fight. But since then, he's been very, very good. So, yeah, I can understand why people would see him as the final guy because, again, with those physical advantages.
And Tim Bradley Jr. also views Fundora as an extremely tough opponent at the moment. He suggested that some contenders could be reluctant to fight him while he continues performing at such a high level. Rather than taking the risk, they may prefer to wait and see whether Fundora eventually loses some momentum. That hesitation reflects the level of respect the tall champion has built throughout the division.
And it's from around my way. He's from around my way. He's from the valley. I got none but respect for Fundora. They see the danger in fighting him right now.
Hackett sees Ennis versus Fundora as a compelling matchup because their physical styles are so different. Fundora can rely on his height and long reach to control distance, while Ennis would need to get inside and force exchanges at closer range. Hackett believes the fight could change quickly once Boots closes the distance, with his speed, accuracy, timing, and combinations potentially creating major problems for Fundora.
Tiger go after a giraffe, and they be working him out. And even though he's tall, he be trying, he be doing little shit. It's just hard to get the fuckers off. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like a tiger and a giraffe. One of them things. Like once
Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s recent inactivity could become a factor if he takes on a high-level opponent like Josh Kelly. Algieri explained that spending too much time away from competition can create difficulties when facing someone performing at an elite level. He believes rankings and reputations can only provide part of the picture, with the clearest answer ultimately coming when the fighters meet inside the ring.
And Jaron, with the level of talent he has, he can beat anybody on any given night. So, yeah, it's a really interesting time. And then even I got another title list, Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult style. And he knows what he is, he knows what he isn't. He will fight his fight. So he's a disciplined guy. He's got a lot of heart. He showed that in the Murtaza Liev win. So yeah, it's
Stephen Breadman Edwards believes Jaron Boots Ennis would encounter two completely different challenges against Sebastian Fundora and Virgil Ortiz Jr. Edwards expects the Ennis-Fundora matchup to become intense early, with Boots potentially using his pressure and precise combinations to break down the taller champion and possibly force a stoppage. Against Ortiz, however, Edwards predicts a longer, more tactical battle, as Ortiz's patience, disciplined boxing, mid-range work, and inside fighting could give Ennis a very different test.
You find 6'6" southpaw sparring with an 80-inch reach. Where do you find that at? You know what I mean? Like, everybody hires Mike Fox, but there's only one of him. You know what I mean? Like, where do you find that?
Everybody goes to Fox. It's hilarious.
Yeah, where do you find that? Like, a tall southpaw is like 5'11", 6 feet, 6'1". Fundora is 6'6" in boxing shoes. Where do you find that at? With a jab, with an uppercut, with a hook. He's mean, he's battle-tested, great conditioning, and he's improving in front of our eyes. So that might be, you know what I mean? The fact is, Virgil was right-handed, about 5'9", 5'10". You could find 20 sparring partners. They may not be better than him, but they can give you what he gives you. It's hard to find something for Fundora. You have to get heavyweights or cruiserweights to spar you, literally, because junior middleweights and middleweights don't walk around in 6'6". Like I said, there's only one Mike Fox. So, I just think that for whatever reason, this is the way my mind is viewing it, that Boots and Fundora is an early round shootout. I think that Boots, it looks like Hagler versus Hearns, and Boots gets him early. Not easy, but early. I think that Virgil and Boots go longer. I think that Virgil is a little bit more talented than Fundora. I think Boots beat Virgil because he has a better jab and can kind of score too many points with his straight punches, and Virgil marks up. And Boots is he's constant with his attack. Virgil marks up, he swells up, he bleeds all over the place.
Edwards also cautioned that Ennis must stay sharp when exchanging punches with Ortiz. Ortiz usually keeps a tight guard and responds with quick combinations rather than giving opponents easy openings. That could create counterpunching opportunities if Boots becomes too aggressive or gets careless with his shots. Edwards still gives Ennis the edge, but he believes the mid-range exchanges could be the biggest danger for Boots.
He throws his punches right from where they're at, and he throws short, quick hooks and uppercuts, and he's kind of even-handed. And I think that would be, Boots will have to be on his game, because Boots likes it. Even though Boots could play with Virgil and do fancy stuff from the outside and use his speed, at some point, Boots is going to back Virgil up, try to back him up, start beating his body and working in the mid-range and the inside, because that's where he likes it. That's how he sees a fight. You can't fault a person for seeing a fight the way they see a fight, but that's where Virgil likes it also. And I think that in there, that Boots will have to be really, really sharp, because although Boots is more talented than me, I think sometimes Boots right in those ranges, he drops his hands a little bit and kind of wings his shot sometimes. And Virgil is a little bit more tighter and shorter right there. I think that will be the one area that Boots will have to be careful with Virgil if they're exchanging. Like, let's say they're exchanging hooks, and Boots throws one of his winging type of hooks, and Virgil just sit on one, boom, and turn it right over. I think that will be right there, where Boots could possibly have some trouble. So I think that he will have to be more careful with Virgil. With Fundora, the game plan is a little bit easier because he's so tall. He got to just, you know what I mean? He got to dog him. He going to have to dog him. And believe it or not, Hans, sometimes the more difficult fight is the fight where you have to pick which game plan to execute. Because Virgil, he can outbox Virgil, in my opinion, right? But somebody else may say, you know what? Virgil's a come-forward fighter. If Boots pushes him back, then the fight's over with.
If the matchup happens, Greg Hackett expects Boots to gradually take control before breaking Fundora down as the fight progresses. He believes the contest could remain competitive into the later rounds, with Ennis potentially finding a stoppage around rounds 8 through 10. Hackett's prediction is based on Boots' combination of speed, timing, technique, accuracy, and power, which he feels could give Ennis an advantage over the opponents Fundora has faced so far.
He will be able to show his inside skill. You're gonna have to box him on the inside. You got working for him. He can get past your jab, but he can break his body up. Sure.
How does it end?
I say probably going to this.
Sebastian Fundora shared his thoughts on the potential matchups, acknowledging that Ennis has performed well since moving to 154 pounds. However, when choosing between Ennis and Virgil Ortiz Jr., Fundora picked Ortiz. He pointed to the difficult third-round Ennis experienced against Sander Zayas as a moment that may have revealed openings a top-level opponent could exploit. Still, Fundora believes either matchup could deliver plenty of excitement for boxing fans.
After you, who do you feel is like the guy in your division?
I guess Ennis. Ennis with his last win, you know, I mean, he looked good. He looked good doing his thing. He looked like he had fun as well. So it's nice to see I mean, he's been a champion before, but a fresh face in 154.
Okay, all right. And then say the talks you go through with Boots and Virgil, who do you got in that fight?
I favor Virgil. I mean, we saw that third round. That was enough for me to see what I needed to see, but
Bradley Jr. is highly confident in Ennis if he eventually faces Virgil Ortiz Jr. Bradley believes Boots could control Ortiz much like he did against Sander Zayas. He argued that Zayas lacked the combination of speed, power, and overall skill needed to seriously trouble Ennis. Bradley also said Boots exchanged early to test his opponent, then adjusted effectively and took control of the fight.
But that was expected, though.
Listen to me.
You're talking about Zayas, the guy that isn't known for his punching power at all. That was
Or his speed,
or
really his skills. He's he checks boxes at a decent level, but not at an elite level.
But the thing is that he didn't feel the pop. You got to understand that about Boots. Boots is willing to take yours to get his, and it's a trap, right? A lot of his flaws, but I'm just telling you that I know it's not always a good thing, but it works for him, and I think that he fights off of feelings.
Kellerman offered a more cautious prediction, saying Ennis should be favored because of his natural abilities. Boots has the size, reach, athleticism, and defensive skills to make things difficult for any opponent. However, Kellerman believes the matchup could still be close to a 50-50 fight. He also highlighted Ortiz's stronger resume, including his notable victory over Israel Madrimov, while noting that Ennis has yet to beat a truly elite opponent.
Generally, that guy wins those fights. But it's a different thing than actually going out and beating Virgil Ortiz and doing it in style. If he
especially
fights
in that type of manner.
Who should be the favorite in that fight, Shady?
I'm going with Boots.
Favored.
Yeah.
He should be the betting favorite.
Yes.
I think this is a genuine coin flip fight. I really do. And I think we have to remember that Virgil Ortiz has fought the much better competition.
That's true.
He beat Israel Madrimov, very quality win. Madrimov gave Crawford all he could handle.
This fight happens and Boots wins a close, tough fight.
Robert Garcia, who trains Ortiz, confirmed that discussions for the potential matchup are legitimate. Garcia said Ortiz's team, including promoter Eric Gomez and Ortiz's father, spoke with him about the fight and received his approval. He also dismissed the idea that Ortiz needs a tune-up beforehand, pointing out that Ortiz faced Israel Madrimov less than a year ago and has remained active, unlike fighters who sometimes spend more than a year out of competition.